Hey guys, I just got back from my run, finished off to my Anthem by Alicia Keys. This girl is on fire. Here's the thing, and I talk about this in my post today. The post that I wrote, which is about joy. You know, I realized 7 months into COVID, and it is starting to really get to me. I went from going through this experience more alone and selectively being able to choose who I spend time with and not being near family to then being with family, but then away from my community. And it's been interesting, and really the lack of socialization, all of the things, depending on how deeply you're subscribing and honoring COVID and quarantining, I have been. So one of the things, I have been, I don't know, maybe not as much as others, but pretty much to a large degree. Anyhow, I digress. My point in today was I had to really look at myself and go, okay, it's time to add more joy in. It's time to really get back to joy. Every day is like Ground Hogs Day, right? And, you know, it's adding in the spontaneity of what a day being out would bring. It's adding in, you know, those things that actually naturally just spurred your energy. We're also seeing now with COVID that there's an extra exhaustion level. You know, we went from being conditioned to be around people all the time to now when we do socialize, we're zapped. We're kind of like, okay, I need like a time out, or I'm ready for bed a lot earlier, and different things of that nature. So you want to really be aware of this and stay connected to yourself during this time. And the key is not to judge you, and the key is to have compassion and ask your body dialogue. My family always makes jokes like, well, Melissa's always talking to her body, and I'm always talking. And I'm saying, what do you need? What foods do you need now as we're changing seasons, right? What workouts do you want to do today? What time do we want to go to bed tonight? You know, what are you really feeling? It's, you know, there's certain programming that we can do, but also like last night I was like, I'm ready for bed at like 8:45. I was like, and it was a deep, deep sleep. Whereas the previous night, I was in bed until like 11, right? And so just listening to that and trusting in that and allowing that without judgment. You want to be the loving observer. Now, getting back to what I wanted to share so much today is how can you add more joy? How can you add more joy into your day when every day is similar to Ground Hogs Day, when you've got extra stress on your plate, when you know that your time with you is maybe limited due to homeschooling, having a job, just being a wife, being a mother, being a parent in general, or if it's, you know, whatever your scenario is. This is a lot for everybody, and you want to give yourself that grace and not go, well, it's harder on them than it is me, or, well, I don't have kids, or, well, I've got a job, so I'm grateful. We want to go in with gratitude, but I also want you to take care of yourself. So what ways can you create more joy? Because I noticed that I had gotten lost in that. And I shared a video last week to my list. And just go melissakathryn.com and you can get our free gift and sign up if you're interested. And I send about 4 videos a week and our podcast. And yeah, so my point with that, though, is not that. It's that I wanted to share that I had said, you know, we want to have compassion, we want to have self-acceptance, we want to go in with gratitude, but also we want to really understand what we're needing. And I had shared in particular that I had gone away from listening to music, that I had spent a lot of COVID. I think I read like 30 some books. I was actually like sitting there with myself like, Melissa, calm it down. Between books, series, documentaries, podcasts, I noticed that everything that I was listening to had some sort of educational purpose around it, and I needed some salacious material. I needed like juicy romance novel, I needed thrillers and mysteries and things of that nature. And I also saw I really hadn't been listening to a lot of music, and I was getting up and so much of the day was focusing on gratitude and meditation, feeling good, but I hadn't added in the layer of fun. I hadn't added in that amount of play and pleasure. And when I was in meditation last week, and I got awoken with a dream that was like, add an hour of play and pleasure a day. So I started to do that just as of last week, and it shifted immediately for me. It shifted immediately. And you might be going, who has an hour in a day for like play and pleasure? But it was pleasure writing, pleasure reading, sitting outside, going for a hike, going for a walk in nature, just being outside, going to the beach, sitting at the pool. Mainly for me, it was dancing around. I just started getting up in the morning and dancing to Alicia Keys' This Girl Is on Fire. Love it. I just came home running to it. So there's little things that you can do. Gratitude is a great way. Connecting with friends. I started reaching out to more people and had noticed that the more I've been in COVID, the smaller my connecting time has gotten. In the beginning, it was like, yes, let's have a date to do this. Let's have a date to do that. Let's have a date to do this. But then I started to notice that got less and less and less. And especially as I filled more time with family, right? Some of those needs were met for connection, but I was still missing my tribe, right? And having more of those times. And I really saw that if you don't make the dates, they don't happen, because everyone can get caught up in their day and can get busy, especially us entrepreneurs, and when you're trying to juggle 50 million things. So it's really committing to those dates. So I started reaching out more, making more dates, making more plans, connecting back in, and creating different things that could give me the levels of joy, socializing, and spontaneity that was needed, because that's what's really missing these days, the random spontaneous things that would happen just when you go out, whether it's like running into somebody, a little joyous jaunt somewhere, or what have you, right? So I hope that this helps you. Let me know, what did you get from today's video? What was your number one takeaway? What are you going to implement? And do you relate? Are you going through the same thing? Have you been struggling and recognizing that you're kind of lacking the spontaneity, the joy, and have lessened the amount of connection, and you're really missing it now? If so, please let me know. I'd love to know I'm not alone in this. And I know I'm not alone. I read all the things, but let me know from you in particular. Love to hear from you, and I hope this helped.